Fair use disclaimer, we intend to use the video we are about to play for criticism and commentary.
A diplomatic firestorm is erupting in North Africa. Algeria has ordered 12 French embassy officials to leave within 48 hours, a move that's shaking Paris-Alger ties to their core. The retaliatory expulsion, announced on April 14th, comes after an Algerian consular officer was arrested in France, accused of involvement in a shocking cross-border kidnapping plot. France is hitting back. Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot didn't mince words after a French anti-terror court indicted 3 Algerian nationals, one of them a diplomat, over the 2024 abduction of an Algerian dissident on French soil.
I am asking Algerian authorities to abandon these expulsion measures. If the decision to send back our officials is maintained, we will have no other choice but to respond immediately.
At the heart of the storm is Amir Boukhouz, known to over 1 million followers as Amir DZ. A fierce critic of the Algerian regime, he had lived in France since 2016 and was granted political asylum just last year. In a stunning breach of France's domestic security, Boukhouz was briefly abducted in a Paris suburb in April 2024. Algeria is rejecting the allegations outright, branding the French court's claims as politically motivated. Officials in Algiers say the arrest of their diplomat tramples diplomatic conventions.
This act is unprecedented and extremely serious, aimed at torpedoing the process of reviving bilateral relations.
This is not just a legal dispute, it's reigniting deep, unresolved tensions. In 2024, France's open support for Morocco's claim over Western Sahara, a red line for Algeria, saw Algiers recall its ambassador. And just weeks ago, the jailing of Franco-Algerian writer Boualem Sansal for undermining Algeria's territorial integrity escalated cultural and ideological fault lines. Ironically, the two sides had just begun mending fences. Presidents Emmanuel Macron and Abdelmajid Tebboune held what was called a frank and friendly phone call aimed at restoring. But this fragile détente is now imploding, with tensions rising by the hour. And this isn't just about diplomacy. Algeria is pivoting away from the West, deepening ties with Russia and China. The fallout with France feeds into a broader geopolitical realignment, one with serious implications. Algeria is a key gas supplier to Europe, and French companies have major stakes across the region. A prolonged rift could bring energy instability and economic blowback. As the 48-hour deadline ticks down, all eyes are on back-channel diplomacy. Will Algeria reverse course, or will France escalate with sanctions or diplomatic pullbacks? The clock is running, and the stakes couldn't be higher. In a region haunted by colonial legacies, shaped by ideological battles, and now caught in global power plays, one arrest may have ignited a full-blown crisis. Paris and Algiers now face a dangerous fork in the road, and the consequences could reverberate far beyond the Mediterranean.
Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Hello. So look, I gotta fix this. Oh,
I don't know what happened.
my bad. No, my bad. That was my bad.
Oh,
Give
no
me a
worries.
second. Here we
There-
go. I got
Welcome,
my
everyone.
devil's horns on today. I don't know
Yeah.
why. But
It kind of seems fitting, I guess, with everything
'cause
that's going on.
with everything that's going on, I just thought it was befitting.
We just say
Um,
fuck with the what is it? Fuck with the bull, get the horns.
John Kemper's in the house. Rondo's here. Black Life Mastermind Hour. Our day one. Bad Cookie said, "Where the white girls at?" Leave it up to him.
I don't know
Um,
wherever they are, but they're not up to much good these days, unfortunately. Whatever.
well, you know, some are, some aren't.
Yeah. Well,
But
actually,
most aren't.
there is one
Most aren't.
white girl that we knew is spitting fire. We're gonna share a video with later today.
Yeah.
Redeeming some of us, you know.
Golden Marky is here. Go Marky. What am I saying? Golden Monarch. Peace, fam. Rondo is here. So yeah, it's a good time to get started. And the crazy part is you're gonna get started with like, you know, some serious foreign policy stuff. And what I want to talk about is petty as shit. So I think we work well together.
Yeah, probably good to get the serious stuff out the way first, so that
Out of the way before I go to Pettyville.
Yeah.
Can I just show you this? Let me see.
Oh wow, what's that?
My neighbor just gifted me this. She adorned me with this. It's so cute. It's like a ring. I don't know. I mean, it's cheap jewelry, but it's so cute, and I'm gonna wear it with pride.
It looks nice, but that's
It's very pretty. Very pretty.
That's one of the topics that's come up with the tariff
how that
stuff.
happened.
People have been talking about luxury items that are made in China and then put in a box in Italy or something with a price tag jacked up like 30,000 times its worth.
You have to say that for my part.
And that's what we call luxury.
Right. We've been telling you for, like, stop worrying about this stuff. This shit is trash.
Yeah.
But
well, I've always had that opinion, but then like with kids and stuff, like they're often the hardest to explain why it's all bullshit, because they just see it and they believe it as it's sold to them. And hard to believe it would be all a lie, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, an amulet. Oh, that is very sweet. Now that makes it feel like I'm Superwoman. So thank you for that, John. So let's get back to what we were talking about in the beginning, because you have the first segment. Or before we even get into it, are there anything you want to share or want to say, or about how your week has been going, or anything, or you want to go straight into it?
Yeah, well, I had something that I was gonna say about what was going on with me this week, but then I think it totally just like brain farted out of there when we were starting to get started covering stuff.
Okay, well, we could save it for later. It's fine.
If it comes back to me,
we have time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and get into further into your.
I remember now. I went to the bank today for a meeting to see if I could change some of my bank account to get like overdraft protection and stuff, because my internet bill came. I didn't have enough money in the account to pay it, so then I got a bank fee of $48 so that they could return the money to the internet company. So I still have to pay them and now the bank $48. And that's all because I didn't have overdraft protection, because I don't like paying for that, because then you end up stuck in debt to the bank and you have to pay your way out of overdraft. So
they're trying to raise the overdraft protection on fees too.
Yeah, but the problem was I couldn't even get access to overdraft protection because I need apparently a government ID card with a photo on it, and they don't accept my health card, which is the only government ID with photo on it that I have. And there's just no apparent logic reason why they won't accept that. They do in other provinces, but in Ontario, for whatever reason, they haven't made the change to make that, I guess, because they don't want to use a health document for other purposes, which is spurious reasoning for me. But so I can't fix my financial problems a little bit, even slightly, until I go pay for a new ID, which I don't need except for this one transaction. So that's my day. Are you frozen there a bit, Abby? Looks like you froze. Not sure. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for you to drop out or come back, I'll.
Hi, I'm back.
There you go. I was gonna say I'll bring this up anyway. But we can go ahead.
Well, before we bring it up, you can make it bigger. You can make it bigger, and while you're doing that, before you do that, that very much reminds me of the SAVE Act that they are implementing in the United States, which is a way to purge voters, mostly women voters, because if your name isn't the same as your birth certificate, then oopsies, you get purged from the list. So a lot of women who got married and took their husband's name, like they have to go through all these extra steps, which you can go through these extra steps so you could vote, but who has time with all this chaos? And that's what they're banking on.
Yeah.
They're banking on the fact that you are tired. You don't feel like it anymore. Like, oh my gosh, you're trying to deal with your, like, manage your children, your husband, your life, your job, and now I got to do this too. It's tiresome.
Yep. I think they're banking on people's apathy with the political system. So if you're less likely to vote in the first place, if they make it even harder for people to register and participate, a lot of people are already on that verge of giving up. They're just going to say, whatever, fine, fuck it. And I'm not really sure that I'm not the kind of person to try and talk people into putting any more energy into the electoral politics anymore. I think there was a time and place where that was okay, but not anymore.
Which is very interesting because, that you say that, because AOC and Bernie Sanders are going on this tour, and I find it hilarious, to be honest, because they are, stadiums are filling up, and I'm just like, these people cannot still believe in these people. Bernie Sanders had a whole revolution and squandered it. AOC said, even if I'm just a one-term representative, if I could shake things up, that's enough. And she didn't shake shit up. She cried on the House floor. Nancy Pelosi put her finger in her face. She sat there and cried and changed her vote. So now she's a career politician. They still try to tell us that AOC came from nothing, which is a lie. She interned for, I think it was Ted Kennedy. She grew up in Westchester. So just because it's the Bronx doesn't mean there's not wealthy areas in the Bronx. I mean, it's giving J-Lo. You know, J-Lo act like she grew up in the Bronx, and come on, girl, get out of my face.
Well, it's just, I think they know a lot of people have woken up to that bullshit and have already tuned out. And so they also seem to have figured out if they keep the grift going and just act the same way, knowing full well they've been exposed. There's a whole host of ignorant people just getting into, like younger people just getting into politics who don't know shit, who are ripe to be fooled, just like the last generation.
But
And
Michael, have they really tuned out? Because they are selling out. Well, not selling out. I think people come for free, but whatever. It's like stadium fulls of people who are just like, oh my god, like celebrity status. They have
yeah,
celebrity status. First of all, you should not be. I don't care if it's a celebrity, a politician, a billionaire. You should not be fawning over any of these people. They are just people. You don't even know these people.
yeah. That's just that demagoguery, right? That's a fun, fancy word for people who engage in politics of feelings instead of substance. And so they're always trying to foster the next demagogue, right? That's what Trump's so popular and successful, because he's just a classic demagogue, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but
So should we segue into your segment about Algeria and France?
yeah, it's a little
Oh
bit.
wait, but before we do that, can we
Yeah.
just say Bella? She gonna
That-
come, Bella. Everybody loves to see Bella. Isn't she gorgeous? Oh,
Yeah, she had a. I don't know if I told you guys. She got in a little bit of a squabble with another dog there. I was walking in her morning walk, and
no,
somebody,
you didn't tell us.
one of the last house on the block before I walk across the parking lot to get home. So it was a last chance for any bullshit to happen. And I see these neighbors on the porch all the time, so I say hello. But she went to take her trash out the side of the building, and the front door was open just a little bit. She didn't realize, and her little pug, whatever, tiny dog, came running out, trying to defend his territory, and I got caught by surprise. I fell right over, twisted my ankle a little bit.
So the pug wasn't leashed, is what you're saying?
No, it wasn't leashed, so it came and attacked Bella, and she's fine. She didn't
That really infuriates me.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna have a dog, you have to like be responsible enough to make sure if they're out in the public, they're leashed, and if they're friendly dogs, then you take them to the dog park.
Well, it was in their house, so I wouldn't be trying to expect people to have their dog on the leash in the house. But then she just accidentally didn't close the door.
Oh, I see.
Forget, like I'm not somebody who's gonna be like, even if Bella did get hurt and I had to pay for it and stuff, I still wouldn't really be outraged at that. Like accidents happen, right?
Accidents do happen, yes.
And it turned out their dog was the one that got injured anyway. So, but
Bella fucked him up.
well, of course, she's like 3 times his size, right?
Bella, you held your own, girl.
Oh yeah.
Hell
That's where I was worried she wouldn't really stand up for herself if she ever got into some kind of fight, but I don't think I need to worry.
Look, can you say this, because I'm tired?
Antediluvian atheist.
Thank you. Hello. Hello. Okay, so go ahead into your segment about Algeria, unless you want to say something else.
No, that's okay. I think it's
probably time to but one second, because Bad Cookies is a jokester.
Makes her a bad bitch or a good dog, right?
Oh, y'all bad.
I don't know about some of these.
You know what? I'm not even gonna touch it.
Some of these women are very attractive, but I'm not sure how healthy it is to engage in hate fucking and these kinds of things. But certainly healthier, I think, rather than having nothing going on. But anyway,
this is interesting. I never get notifications. I just happen to be browsing, and that fucking sucks.
Yeah, well, I guess try and feel free to set the notifications, click the bell, whatever it is. I don't ever really ever tell people to do that.
I think you have to do
Considering
like
I
all
never-
notifications, like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you. Yes,
But
you could.
that makes me appreciate the people who are here, on every Thursday even more, because I don't even know if they get a notification.
Yeah. Well,
I have no idea.
I think we're just have to rely on word of mouth. That's probably our best way of getting our show out there. I have tried to recommend it a few times to people in the city while I'm out doing my business and stuff. I feel a little awkward, but hopefully I can make some contacts with people. Right?
He says he or she or they, I'm not sure. But they have all notifications set for us, and they're still not getting them. So, like, I guess that's true what they say.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a good sign in that if we weren't being censored or shadow banned or anything, then we wouldn't really be saying anything worth hearing. So, hello, Sean.
Hi, Sean. And this is another thing, John. We don't have a subscription because you have to pay for a subscription. I don't even know how that works. To be honest, we're just here talking.
I feel like the subscriptions is if you just haven't watched the channel for a couple weeks or something, then I don't know how long it is. They just automatically disconnect people. I don't know why. I don't try and figure out the algorithm as much as I should. Maybe it's only so much time in a day. So.
Oh, the consistent schedule is what's been helping Rondo out. Okay, well that's good to know. So we have to make sure we come back at the same time so people know. Yeah.
Consistency is key, right? It is important.
And we think about like doing it more often, but it's a lot of work. Okay, so let's go with what you have. So we're talking about Algeria and France expel diplomats.
Yeah, there's a couple.
And they're going tit for tat.
Yeah, there's a few. I wanted to talk a little bit beyond just France and Algeria. What kind of tipped me onto this story was actually another story about between Mali and Algeria. There's a little bit of tensions. Apparently, Algeria shot down a drone that was coming from allegedly crossed the border from Mali fighting terrorists. And so Mali categorically denied it and whatnot, and they're saying Algeria is not really helping them combat terrorism. And so I was wondering, why is this happening? Because as much as that's the official narrative, behind the scenes there's probably a little bit more using this kind of an incident as pressure. And I'm speculating that Mali is pressuring Algeria to take a harder stance on France, because it seems like we were watching in the video earlier and in the beginning that the Algerian president was trying to do a rapprochement with France, and every other nation in Africa right now is kind of kicking the French troops out. And it seems important for the Sahel alliance there, for Algeria to be cooperating with their Frexit plans here. And so who does France have left in Africa to kind of lean on? And it seems like Morocco and Algeria and Tunisia, like these, Libya, right? So this is a region of the world that people aren't really talking about right now. And I've wanted to talk about it a little bit for a while now. It's just I've kind of been having to wait for developments to happen in order to understand a little bit what's happening. So I didn't really know exactly that Algeria is supposedly the main, or most likely the main backer of Western Sahara, like in antagonism with their neighbor Morocco. But whoever's playing 3D chess there, what I know about the Moroccan monarchy makes me not want to support them. The U.S. is backing the Moroccans. The French are backing the Moroccans and everything. The UN, wherever they're trying to settle this dispute, because the Western Sahara is kind of like a breakaway state from Morocco for like at least 30 years now. They've been waging this separatist fight, and they've kind of had the tables turned on them recently in the UN and stuff. So let me get into it. I'm just kind of monologuing at the moment, so let's get started. This is from France 24, a very mainstream, not particularly trustworthy outlet, but at least you can get some of the main play-by-play about what's going on. This article is Insult to Injury, What's Behind the Rising Tensions Between France and Algeria. French Prime Minister François Bayrou announced on Wednesday that Paris would be re-examining the 1968 Migration Pact that has historically made it easier for Algerians to settle in France. This follows months of campaigning by hardline anti-immigration Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau, who has accused Algiers of trying to humiliate the French people. This is from February 27th. The time for diplomacy, it seems, is drawing to a close. French Prime Minister François Bayrou on Wednesday announced that his government would be spending up to 6 weeks re-examining all of the immigration agreements struck between Paris and Algiers since Algeria won its independence from France in 1962. In the coming weeks, he added, the French government would also present Algiers with a list of Algerian nationals living in France that Paris was determined to send back to their home country. The months-long decline in the two countries' relationship accelerated sharply last week after an undocumented Algerian national, believed to be suffering from schizophrenia, killed one person and wounded 6 more in a stabbing spree in the French town of Mulhouse near the German border. Or I don't know, I guess Mulhouse in French. Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau, a member of the right-wing Les Républicains party, said that the man had been under an OQTF, obligation to leave French territory, deportation order, but that the Algerian government had repeatedly refused to take him back. Retailleau has for weeks now accused the Algerian government of trying to humiliate France, and Algeria's alleged refusal to work with Paris to allow the deportation of undocumented Algerian nationals living in France has been a core part of his growing list of grievances. In one high-profile case, 59-year-old cleaner and social influencer Boualem Naman, known as Doualem, who has lived legally in France for 36 years, was arrested and deported to Algeria for allegedly inciting violence against an Algerian activist opposed to that country's government. But he was sent back to France the same day his flight landed in Algiers, with the Algerian government insisting he deserved the right to a fair trial in the country he had long called home. The OQTF order was later lifted by a local administration court, a decision that Retailleau has sworn to appeal. So this is kind of starting the story a little bit back farther than most people would, but I'm just kind of demonstrating that they're like in that video in the beginning, they're talking about how one arrest has kicked off this whole massive scandal, but there's actually been several arrests. They're using the refugees and political dissidents as like political footballs and cannon fodder and stuff. So this whole issue about the far right in Europe with their anti-immigration stance, the trying to like have fortress Europe and all that stuff. It's exactly
It's kind of
what's exacerbating all this stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of giving the deportation of people to Venezuela narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It's like white supremacy is just, they are getting together. They are on one accord.
So there's the people that they're trying to deport who don't deserve, who haven't done anything wrong, who don't deserve it at all. And then there's the people who Algeria wants deported that are like terrorists or national security threats, like separatists. I don't know particularly what group they might belong to. I didn't do enough research there, but I have learned there that there's some people threatening the stability of Algeria and fleeing to France, where they know that they can be held safely, so they can continue their political destabilization from France, which is what the far right in France benefits from. So, I guess I'll carry on here. Fuel on the fire. The arrest by Algerian authorities last November of Algerian-born writer Boualem Sansal, who was granted French citizenship last year, has also fed the rising fire. Sansal, a major figure in modern Francophone literature, is known for its strong stances against both authoritarianism and Islamism. He has been charged with the terrorism-related offense of undermining the integrity of national territory, apparently connected to an interview he gave to a French far-right newspaper, saying that swaths of Western Algeria rightfully belonged to neighboring Morocco. French President Emmanuel Macron last year triggered diplomatic fury during a visit to Morocco when he reversed decades of French government policy by endorsing Rabat's sovereignty over the contested Western Sahara. So there was also a Spanish reversal of their decades-long policy um, supporting the United Nations self-determination kind of approach to this, where the Western Sahara is seeking self-determination and people have a right to do so, allegedly, according to international law, except for when the UN decides not, apparently. So whatever...
The UN is useless.
Yeah, well, because whatever
we can start with that.
Behind the scenes there has been putting a lot of pressure on, and Israel too, like putting pressure on Spain and France to deny Western Sahara's independence and to support Morocco, which is this reactionary conservative monarchy. So, and it's always about the oil and gas that these countries have, right?
So Golden Monarch, we can't click on this. You can't click on what he's sending us because we're in the stream. But
yeah,
it's an article that's talking about how Algerian influencers face arrest in France over fraud allegations. So we'd have to read it or whatever, but you guys in the chat can...
I'll put it up on screen there, so anyone watching, if they're interested, they can pause the video and type it in to their...
Grapentine. Hello, Grapentine. I lived in New York City for 20 years or so, and the UN, they always have protests. I mean, it's just useless. Okay, they're headquartered in New York City. Oh, let me put up his what they're saying. Yeah, it looks beautiful from the outside. It's like flags of all like these countries, but they're all NATO countries, and then a few of the other ones. But they don't give a goddamn what the countries that are outside of NATO care about. It's just a right supremacist regime.
As far as where should be headquartered,
I don't know where you live, but you get me.
That's one of those questions that's like doesn't have a good answer. Is if we shouldn't have the UN headquartered in New York, where should we put it? And then everybody would have the bias of being the home country of.
Well, it's not about where it is; it's about what it's doing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I don't care if it's in Alabama. Are you actually doing what you are supposed to be doing? Yes or no? And the answer is no.
No, I'm of the opinion that the UN at this point needs to be dissolved, and we need to ask.
Dissolved. Go away. What is your purpose?
Seriously ask if we want a third iteration of the failed League of Nations that's now the United Nations. If the idea is proven to be just a permanent failure, or we need to do things 3 times because that's what humans love.
It's like we created the United Nations to make other countries feel like they have a voice. It's almost like the Progressive Caucus. You serve no fucking purpose.
Because it's just
you're not doing shit. You're just trying to make us feel like we have a voice.
Yeah. Basic question people would ask is the world better off without a UN? Most people, I think, maybe even if they know how useless the UN is, they still have this. It's that positive thinking, right? Like we're still better off trying, in a liberal sense, like to come together and resolve our differences in a diplomatic way. Because the alternative is to believe that no, we're better off without institutions like the UN. It's kind of like a libertarian mindset.
Okay, wait. I have to do this in the comments. I have to for you, okay? So Rondo says the United Nations is a Freemason conspiracy. He's always talking about the Freemasons.
Yeah, well, that's because they're always
Grayson
behind everything.
yeah,
It's
because
like
they're always around.
the Freemasons have been very
And
much in control of the American presidency. Like half the presidents are Freemasons. So,
not half.
well,
You
I'm
can't
pretty
be
sure
a
it was not
president.
all of them, but yeah, there's a good
You
amount.
can't be one.
You're not allowed to be
Great
one. Yeah,
Britain
that's
says absolutely the UN and ICC are only useful for Western imperialism. And here we go.
eugenics. Yeah, so I'm not sure how I don't really have any way to
Just
tie
go
the
off.
to the Algeria, but I'll find a way maybe as we cover it.
I know you will. Oh my
So
goodness. Okay,
yeah,
so should I put I need to put back up your article so you can keep going. I just did that so we could talk, but you can keep
yeah, no,
going.
that's okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I
Can
don't
you make it
necessarily
bigger?
want to just drone on and stuff, but I do want to actually like talk about news stuff, not just get caught up in our own commentary all the time, but whatever the audience wants, kind of please feel free to give your feedback. So where was I here?
Oh, they're in the chat. They're going off in the chat for sure. I just didn't want to cut you off to say what they're saying, but they're having their opinions in the chat,
Well,
and we can go back to them after you finish.
well, we have a good group of people who wouldn't be silenced if we tried. So good for you.
Good for them.
Algiers has long backed Sahrawi independence through its support of the separatist Polisario Front, a stance that Algeria believes is in keeping with the United Nations' decades-long recognition of the Western Sahara as a territory denied the right to self-governance. Earlier in February, Culture Minister Rachida Dati became the first French official to formally visit the territory. Yahya Zubir, non-resident senior fellow at the Middle East Council on Global Affairs in Doha, Qatar, said that it was difficult to see a way out of the worsening crisis between the two countries. It's the worst crisis I remember, and I'm of a certain age, he said. You have the son of former French President Nicolas Sarkozy saying he would burn down Algerian consulates, and then Rachida Dati going to the Western Sahara. No one seems to want to de-escalate the situation. So I don't know enough about Nicolas Sarkozy, but I have heard enough to know that was pretty central to some pretty fucked up shit that's happened in France back in the day, with like the right wing kind of prime minister. Is it prime minister? I think they have a president and a prime minister in France. I
Prime
forget which
Minister.
one it was. But that
Prime
his
Minister.
son would be saying this stuff is not surprising at all. It's very much in line with the kind of stuff you would expect to see from the people around Sarkozy. So maybe I should. I'm going to finish this.
We're talking about France here. We're talking about France. France is really like they act like they don't have their hands in shit, but they were really fucked up in Africa.
Yeah, well,
In
Vichy
many
France.
African countries.
Vichy France was not exactly such a in World War II or whatever. Not exactly the most coerced kind of
But
government.
they act.
There was
But
a lot of
act.
joining with the
They
fascists.
act like their hands are clean.
Yeah.
Like that pisses me the fuck off.
And
France acts like their hands are clean.
Yeah.
The British acts like their hands are clean, and America is just the bully that France and no, they're not. It's just it was. Maybe it's because I'm here, but they did some really egregious stuff, like Leopold. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, I was just gonna say quickly about I was learning from another article about Pierre Trudeau. Apparently, in his early youth days, was like a supporter of a lot of these French fascists that were like war criminals involved with fighting the resistance, French fighters and British allies and stuff during World War II. And so they were instrumental in protecting some of the war criminals who escaped to Canada. And it was very well known that Pierre Trudeau was like a Nazi sympathizer. What they call the Canadian Führer was, I forget his name at the moment, Arnaud, something like that.
There was several Nazi sympathizers that fled to various Western countries.
But there was a Canadian Nazi that was already here, who was the leader of the Canadian Nazi Party that had a different name, some Unity Party or whatever. But his during World War II, his free speech was like censored wherever. Briefly, he was interned or something because of his support for Nazi Germany when we were at war with them. And then after that, Pierre Trudeau had felt the need to publicly decry how this Nazi was treated by the Canadian government. It's like, if people need to believe that the Liberals are not fascists and Nazis, they need to hear that kind of history, and I'd like to see what they have to say.
Well, the thing is, they rely on the fact that people don't know history, so that's why they were bold enough in Canada to salute this man for defeating the Russians, and we're like, wait, what? The Russians were fighting against the Nazis. What? Yeah. So you're saluting a Nazi? What the fuck is happening?
That's what I'm saying. We got proof of Pierre Trudeau, his complicity with Nazis, and we've got Justin Trudeau doing standing ovations to Nazis in our parliament. So it's
crazy,
right?
And they got them. And for some reason, Americans think that we defeated the Nazis. Yeah, that was Russia. The fuck are you talking about? Like you don't even know your own history. It's like,
because they just want to live in this unrealistic bubble, right? Like a reason why Quebec was such a popular destination for a lot of people after the French Revolution there was because they felt that Quebec was more like the authentic traditional ancien regime that got overthrown by the Republicans in France, right? So that's why there's such a concentration of fascists already in French Canada. Not to say that English Canada is any better. We're actually probably worse, if that means anything. But I'm kind of getting off the topic, right? I got to kind of get back to the article a bit. But
no, it's fine. Like they're being real funny in the chat, and they're being real funny. But okay, keep going. You know I love the chat. I love the friends. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to do that because that don't even make sense. You gotta go from the top to understand that. So my bad. But keep going.
So although Bayrou stressed on Wednesday that he was not trying to exacerbate tensions between Paris and Algiers, his threat to rethink long-standing treaties between the two countries, including the much amended 1968 Migration Pact that has historically made it easier for Algerian nationals to settle in France, echoes the hardline demands that Retailleau has been hammering across French media for weeks. So I guess I could either finish this article. I wanted to, because I had a couple other things. I wanted to kind of pivot to.
No, you're fine. Bad Cookie says we are listening, Michael. I promise. They're just having fun in the chat while you're talking. They're, laughing and stuff, as they should.
Yeah,
but they're listening.
Wondering if I started the story a little too far back because I'm trying to get to like this next. There's another immigrant.
Sean says it's interesting, just so you know.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So I was saying,
so keep going.
There's another immigrant by the name of Amir Bukour, who was arrested. He's like an influencer in opposition to the Algerian regime, and that's kind of what really kicked this off. But this was like, I'm given the evidence that this was sort of like brewing with other migrants being arrested and stuff. So, oh crap, I can't. I'm gonna have to accept these cookies because I accidentally pushed the wrong button.
Take your time.
Because a lot of these websites, if you don't accept their cookies, you're not allowed to read their content, which is aggravating, but I'll take one for the team. Because that's what I think has been slowing down my computer so much, is all these websites got to cram all their info onto my computer. So who is Amir Bukhor, the influencer opposing the Algerian regime who is allegedly kidnapped? That's something from the English translation. I'm not sure why that's written that way, but this is published April 12th, 2025, not in February. So this is more recent. 3 men were indicted this Friday, April 11th in Paris, suspected of being involved in the kidnapping at the end of April 2024 of the influencer Amir DZ, figure of the opposition of the Algerian regime on social networks. So the video at the beginning was talking about 3 Algerian diplomats that were arrested, and this is the reason why they were arrested. And when Algeria says that it was politically motivated that they were arrested, I am inclined to believe them, because France is full of shit. It's a mysterious affair that has been going on for almost a year. This Friday, April 11th, 3 men, one of whom works in one of the Algerian consulates in France, were indicted in Paris suspected of involvement in kidnapping, and the kidnapping at the end of April 2024 of an opponent of the Algerian regime, the influencer Amir Bukhor. But who is he? Amir Bukhor is better known on social networks under the pseudonym Amir DZ, with more than 1.1 million subscribers on TikTok, 241,000 subscribers on X, and 154,000 subscribers on Instagram. The 41-year-old Algerian influencer presents himself as an investigative journalist. His videos criticizing the Algerian regime attract tens of thousands of views every day. For several years, the man has lived in France to avoid pressure from Algiers. He has obtained the status of political refugee in November 2023. So I guess that's the influencer there. Chawki Benzera, Kabyle blogger, at the origin of the reports which allowed the arrest of several Algerian influencers, calling for violence on French soil in January, Amir DZ knows well. Sometimes the translation makes it so that the sentence structure doesn't really make as much sense, so I'm sorry about that, but the alternative is for me to read in French, which most of you will not really understand, and I'm not as good at it as I used to be. So it's an opponent of the regime in force in Algiers for several years.
Yeah, I heard you speaking French, and I was like, wait a minute, Michael, you in Canada? What kind of French is that?
Yeah.
My Louisiana French might be a little better than yours. I don't know.
My French is awful. I just haven't been able to speak it with anybody, or haven't put myself in a position in life to make use of it. So it's not like riding a bike or whatever. I forget like half of.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
I need to go like.
But anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
So Amir DZ regularly revealed scandals affecting people close to the regime of the former Algerian president Abdelaziz Bouteflika. Between 2015 and 2019, he was convicted 7 times by the courts of Relizan, Sidi Mohammed, Shlef Sheraga, and Ain Defla for fraud, threats, defamation, and blackmail of the disclosure of obscene information with a view to obtaining sums of money, slander, and invasion of privacy, or even contempt of a civil servant in the exercise of his duties. So they really want this guy. He's been a big thorn in their side, I guess you could see. He was also the subject of 2 extradition requests in April 2021 for membership and affiliation with a terrorist group with the aim of spreading terror among the population, membership in a subversive terrorist group, an organization aimed at harming the interest of Algeria, incitement of citizens to take up arms against state authority, and praise of terrorist acts. So remember that the reason why Mali is kicking France out of, like all these nations in Africa are kicking France out, is because they were supposed to be helping them with their counterterrorism actions, but it became kind of suspected and revealed that France is more likely behind the terrorism, so that they could then play Captain Save a Colony or whatever. And so when it comes time for them to actually do a counter-terrorist act, like actually arrest the terrorists. What are they doing? They're harboring terrorists. Okay. So, but then this is where France would say, if they want to defend themselves, oh, he's not actually a terrorist. It's just Algeria is going to pretend like they're going to paint him as such because they want to deal with their political dissidents. It's like, oh, as if the West is not capable of using the word terrorist disingenuously. It's only black and brown people who use the word terrorist and don't actually mean it. So this is one of those stories I feel extreme exposure of the hypocrisy of colonial, imperialist, whatever, capitalists, right?
Wasn't Mali I'm trying to look it up. I think Mali is the country that, you know how there's like 14 countries. I'm gonna put it here for a second. It's like 14 countries where African countries have to pay a colonial tax to France. And I think Mali was the first one. If I'm not mistaken, Mali was the first one that decided, no, I'm not doing it. And France like toppled all their buildings, like killed all their cattle, and tried to make an example out of them. So all the other countries, so maybe it was 15, and Mali was the first to say no, and they just came in and demolished their whole way of living and life. And so the other 14 countries was like, okay, well, I guess we'll keep paying because that's the only way we can live and survive. Am I crazy? I feel like
Well,
that.
that sounds like something I'd like to hear about. I didn't quite hear about that, but this
I'm
topic
sure it's Mali.
probably is, right? Because I was just learning. There's a whole war that I need to learn about if I want to understand this Western Sahara situation much better. There was a war in 2012 in Mali, like a civil war. That is like a Tuareg rebellion.
I think it was
Like
2013.
wanting
Hmm.
self-determination, right? That's the story. But we also know, like, CIA people have a very extreme vested interest in going to these indigenous communities looking
Yeah,
for
they
self,
tried. They tried like a couple of
stoking up
coups in
their
Mali, all kind of stuff.
stoking up their division and encouraging them
Hmm.
to try and balkanize the country, right, in the name of independence. So, like the Kurds, like who's a good example here? Like like in the Congo, okay, they use these different ethnic divisions to destabilize a country. So it's probably several other groups that I could mention. I just they're not coming to me at the moment
I'm
here.
I'm
So
trying to I'm trying to Google it real quick, but I'm pretty sure it's Mali. So I'm going to say, what African country did France make an example out of? Maybe that's the best way to say it.
well,
And
there's
see what
probably
it
several
says.
countries that could answer that question because like any country, there's
No,
been
but
a
it
lot
was
of them trying to overthrow their colonizer for a while, and they probably had their governments cooed since like the 60s and stuff. So I don't
oh
know enough.
Lord,
There's too
and it's
much
like
to learn
there's
about
several there's AI is like there's several countries of exploitation, but it was like this one specific country that France just toppled all their buildings, like burned all their farms, killed all their cattle to make sure all the other countries knew, okay, you want to be independent? Well, then this is what we're gonna do. And I just thought it was
It's like
Mali,
this is
but
what independence will look like if you want
yeah, this is what independence looks like for you. I thought it was Mali. I gotta find that.
it. That's okay. You can
But
you can look up that
this is
while I
crazy because there it yeah, because it's saying Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso, Benin, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, and Nigeria. So they named a bunch of countries. No, but it was one that was very specific.
you're
But
probably right.
anyway,
Though. There was this tax that was the first straw, the first step before they were kicking out all the French military from each of their countries. The first step was probably canceling colonial taxes, one country at a time. And then once they'd all kind of done that, they're likely proven that they can kind of coordinate their resistance. So baby steps, right? So, yeah, Rhonda's right. It's all started after Gaddafi was assassinated. And I
Actually,
saw,
it started before Gaddafi was assassinated.
yeah, it's like history started October 7th.
It's
When
not
you want
after.
to
Yeah,
figure out
it's
when
definitely
things start,
before.
you find there is no ultimate starting point. Everything is built on everything else that's happened in history, and everything just keeps happening.
Yeah,
So,
definitely started before. Because that Mali, whatever that country is, I really think it's Mali. But yeah,
well, and then I just saw Cookies.
I don't have enough time to look it up.
So Cookies said the
The
French still have
French.
strong ties with Canada, right? Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Does
they
this
do.
affect Canadian politics at all? We have this whole. I'm not so much seeing like French politicians from France have a heavy influence here. It's more like the EU and the UK that have an outsized influence. Like Canada was recently trying to talk about joining the EU in response to this tariff crap, which doesn't even seem legally possible because they're not in Europe. Okay, but for whatever reason, they think that makes sense to try and affiliate themselves with the rest of the Europeans. But in Canada, we have this Bloc Québécois, like the French Canada kind of acts like this great big albatross on the neck of Canada when it doesn't get what it wants, right? So it just doesn't play ball with the rest of Canada in order to have leverage and stuff, and so there's some resentment. There's always this historical resentment between English and French people that never really goes away. And French people are kind of, in general, they're marginalized compared to the English. When you want to talk about like majority of Canadians are English speakers and stuff, and there's a huge amount of English speakers in Quebec too, but Quebec still has a very large, significant influence in Canadian politics. You can't really necessarily get things done sometimes without the Bloc. So,
Michael, what is the PNAC?
PAN, what's that?
PNAC. Bad Cookie says PNAC. Is that some Canadian something?
I don't know what's that. Not sure.
Oh, you don't know what that is? Black Life says, "Oh, y'all the sweetest rebels I know." I don't know why she's saying that because she know I pack a gun. I don't know why she's saying that.
Probably,
but I am very sweet. I'm very sweet, but leftists have guns too.
I got to learn how to use a gun and everything. I feel a little, might be too late for that, especially with the mental health background, the issues with being on disability and stuff. I don't think people would trust me with a gun, but I think also technically, according to law, I still have the right to own one. So I should probably do that.
Mm. So can you tell us what PNAC means then? Because I don't know what the hell that is. And neither does Michael.
Maybe I've heard of it, but I forget it. There's too many acronyms and everything.
So should we go back to the article or are we?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Here we go. So it went back to French. Here we go. Okay. An absurd story. I don't know how I got scrolled down here, but
can I just say while you're looking for your place? So the PNAC means is that what it means? The Project of the New American Century? What the hell is that? Is that like Project 2025 or something? Which
sounds like some kind of.
I should remind
some weird
you guys,
kind of technocratic dream people have. I don't know. Great reset stuff.
I would like to put. I'm gonna put it in the chat where you can monitor what's going on with Project 2025. I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's a website.
Yeah. People might want to read up on that just if they didn't think that it needed to take it seriously. Maybe we should have. Sometimes
I believe that's it.
sometimes it's hard to know what to take seriously and what you need to look out for. But maybe Project 2025 is one of those things.
Yeah. Let me make sure that's it.
I see Grapevine said, same situation here with me and the guns. Yeah. The one thing I'm noticing, though, is whether I want one or not, though, probably can't afford it anyway. So I got to worry about.
They are expensive.
Yeah. One
For
thing
sure.
at a time. But, let me get back to the article here.
Yep, get back to the article.
So the Paris Court of Appeal opposed any extradition request, fearing that Amir Bakour, Amir Bukour, yeah. Sorry. Opposed the Amir Bukour's extradition request, fearing that his fundamental rights and freedoms would not be preserved in his country of origin, specified in 2023 Young Africa. The court thus issued an unfavorable opinion on 7 extradition requests based on 7 arrest warrants issued between 2015 and 2019 to the opponent, and ordered the lifting of the judicial review under which the opponent had been placed in France since July 7, 2020. An absurd story. According to the revelations of our colleagues, Amir Bukour was forced on April 29, 2024, to enter a car equipped with a flashing light by 4 men, and as he prepared to return to his home in Val-de-Marne. He was then transported to the east of the country, according to signs he saw on the highway, before his captors told him that he was going to be taken to Amsterdam. The car then allegedly stopped in an activity zone. Amir Bukour was allegedly drugged and threatened by 8 men and women in French and Arabic before being released the following night in the middle of the forest without knowing why. So if you want to say that that was like terrorists who did that, trying to take him back to Algeria for prosecution or justice or whatever, I don't know about that, because it seems to me like if French intelligence wanted to create a situation out of nothing because they needed to create a political controversy, then they would have their Secret Service kidnap someone like this and scare them and then drop them off in the woods so that they can then go arrest 3 Algerian diplomats and put the blame on them for doing that. So that's why I felt it was important to share that article. And then there is just maybe one other. I wanted to share this one here. This is article is going to be a pro-Moroccan newspaper. So definitely a grain of salt.
Why are you pulling that up? I want to say hey to you, Yanina.
Oh, hi, Yonina. Good to see you.
And also, I put in the that website again, project2025.observer. You can. I don't know the accuracy. It's not my website. You have to do your own research, but it kind of shows what things that they had in Project 2025 that are being implemented, like where they are in the process. But again, you have to do your own research. But I just wanted to share it. Okay, so go ahead. Make it bigger.
No problem.
Please.
I did. I made it. It's already at like 200%. So I think that's as big as it. If I make it bigger, it'll go off the side of the screen. But,
okay.
So this article is like from a pro-Moroccan website, and they seem like very hardline right-winger. Not the kind of people I support, but it is revealing to see the kinds of things that they're saying at this particular time. So de Mistura's shift puts final nail in coffin of Algeria's exposed Western Sahara agenda. The growing momentum of Morocco's autonomy plan has dealt Algeria numerous blows in recent years, but the latest comments by the UN's Sahara envoy are perhaps the most spectacular confirmation of the death of Algeria's hegemonic dreams in southern Morocco, by Samir Benis, April 16, 2025. So clearly, people in Morocco are beside themselves, rubbing their hands in anticipation of the end of this diplomatic crisis in their eyes, whatever, of their country being cut in half by separatists. So, but if they wanted to have people not separating from their country, I would say, get rid of your goddamn monarchy. I don't care what country you are, what kind of ethnicity you are. Monarchies are bad. That's my statement. Okay, I will never change on that position. So the only thing left for the implementation of the practical Moroccan plan is for the UN to request that Morocco explain exactly what its vision of broad autonomy is and how that could be achieved in a reasonable time frame. So they want to act like instead of a self-determination, it would the Morocco's plan to have the Western Sahara as a part of Morocco, but grant them broad autonomy. They're acting like that's a good plan when I'm pretty sure there is no autonomy they're going to have. They're going to be put under the jurisdiction of people that hate them. So we'll see how that goes. After the diplomatic blow it received last week when U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio reaffirmed America's unequivocal support for Morocco's sovereignty over Western Sahara, Algeria suffered on Monday yet another setback during the UN Security Council briefing on Western Sahara situation. As he presented his assessment of the lingering territorial dispute, the UN Security General's personal envoy, Staffan de Mistura, shook up the commentariat community and stunned sympathizers of Polisario separatism by radically departing from a proposal he had floated previously. Just last October, de Mistura had confidently suggested that only the partition of the disputed region between Morocco and the Algeria-backed separatists of the Polisario Front would achieve the settlement that had long eluded successive generations of UN negotiators. Just like very, very long decades of failed negotiations in the Congo, by the way, for some reason in Africa, UN can never really get anything resolved. So, and a mere 6 months later, the UN's point man for the Sahara was now emphatically suggesting that Morocco's autonomy plan, which conclusively rebukes the partition route and instead calls for the region to be granted broad autonomy under Moroccan sovereignty, which is a contradiction in terms, remains the only viable path to a lasting and politically feasible resolution of the decades-running conflict. The only thing left for the implementation of this practical Moroccan plan is for the UN to request that Morocco explain exactly what its vision of broad autonomy is and how that could be achieved in a reasonable time frame. If Secretary Rubio's meeting with Morocco's top diplomat last week and his subsequently unambiguous statement in support of Moroccan territorial integrity was a bombshell for those who still cling to a make-believe vision and an even more illusory future for the disputed region south of Morocco, de Mistura's statement is perhaps the most fitting equivalent of a political thunder that sent their dialogical plane crashing down to earth back to reality. So you see how these unhinged right-wing monarchist maniacs are always happy to say that those of us with some kind of some vision of a more democratic future, more includes self-determination for people. Those people are pie in the sky. That we don't know what the hell we're talking about, right? We don't have realistic understandings of the facts on the ground, right? These people are so full of shit. But
well, Michael, I would have to defer to you to look in the chat and see what people are saying and respond, because I had to take it out of my ear because my mom lost her phone. Well, she dropped her phone and at church, and then they ran over it with a lawnmower. So she don't have a phone. So she's out there in the wild, and my brother just called me. So I have to answer. And so I really didn't hear what you were saying.
Yeah, no, I didn't see.
Not that I don't want to hear. I just had to take that phone call. So can you look in the chat, because you'll know what they're talking about, because I don't know, because I didn't hear the conversation. I apologize.
No problem. I didn't see because I was busy reading the article that you were.
Yeah, I was on mute talking on my cell phone to my brother about my mother, making sure we make sure. Oh, and here he is again. So I'm gonna go on mute again.
Yeah, Cookies was saying, oof, that second paragraph, fucking Lil Marco getting shit done in the worst way. Yep. This is one of those things, right? Everyone's kind of preoccupied talking about Trump and Musk, but then there's all these other little diplomats that they got working for them that are off like fucking people up. Like that, what's that other guy, Lutkin or whatever, the awful negotiator for Gaza or whatever. They're just, what they're doing is insane and need to kind of document it a little bit, but it's difficult to follow everything and to get people to say, hey, maybe don't get too caught up in that horse race over there. Let's try and catch some other interesting news that might be a little bit boring. So not actually boring, but in comparison, it seems boring. So Mastermind said, "Do we not learn anything about Morocco from Casablanca or James Bond?" Yeah, I don't know if I'm not sure. I don't remember which James Bond movie that is. I used to watch like all the James. I watched.
Did you?
Yeah, when
Michael, you are so lame.
and that's what I was like. These movies they're old and corny or whatever, but I don't know. Part of my
Did you watch it? Was your head in your mama lap while you was watching it? Tell the truth.
No.
I'm just fucking with you.
That's the kind of stuff I had to go like out of my way to find a bit because those movies are old now. So I was like watching like Star Trek and stuff. Like there's James Bond and Star Trek. I had a whole bunch of stuff saved on my computer, right? But
I did. I watched a bunch of stuff like that because me and my brother were like 1 year apart. So I was just watching shit he liked to watch because he didn't want to watch shit I like to watch. So
it's the same thing with my sister. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Star Trek, Spaceballs. I love Spaceballs. You remember Spaceballs?
That was funny. Yeah.
That was the fun. Oh, I laughed so hard. But you had to watch the original to know how funny it was. But anyway, should we move on to
Mastermind saying you just
because
he would just move on if you were. They're not really talking too much in the chat about the article there. Yeah.
Oh, they weren't. Okay. They was just talking shit. They are talking shit in the chat. Pizza the Hut. You remember when they were like, "Comb the desert"?
I don't remember.
The desert. Did you find something? You don't remember that?
No, I got terrible memory to be honest. Maybe
we got to do this.
Being a podcaster, I got to remember everything so I can make a witticism about it.
This has to be done. We can't let this slide, Michael. This has to be done. It's the funniest shit.
I just have to quit smoking weed if I want to remember stuff. I don't know if I want to do that, so I'm just gonna be stuck in my memory.
I mean, I don't remember a lot of stuff either, but some stuff you just can't let go of.
Yeah. Well, I'm also like
the desert.
I don't know what's going on with my humor lately, but I'm just not really into like funny stuff as much as I used to be. So.
Oh, well, that's not good. Why
not good at all. No, it's this thing about everyone's totally unserious. You know, people like to say that all the time. I wish people were more serious, right? So I was like that too. I'm going to be more serious because no one's serious enough. And now no matter how serious I am, I'm still whatever, not serious enough.
It's still too serious.
Yeah.
Like, tone it down a notch. God damn. You know, black people, we don't take shit seriously at all. Rondo, Sean, you know what I mean? Shit, we don't take shit seriously. We make a joke out of everything. In fact, there was this really funny this black dude said, "Y'all, what can white people do that black people can't do?" And this white dude, it's a Stitch. I don't really know much about Stitch. That's telling my age. But he said, "Oh, this is easy. White people could laugh at a joke and stay in one place. And all the black people start running, laughing and running."
I remember that.
You know what? That's serious.
That one's true, I think.
We cannot stay in one place and laugh at some shit. We got to run and we are very animated people.
Yeah. And if I laugh like that, I would feel silly, like I'm not laughing authentically, right? Like I would be trying to make a show of it rather than just enjoy myself. But that's
that's just what we do. Mouth wide open, flailing back.
It's just like me with dancing. I don't like dancing either because I feel awkward and uncomfortable. But I shouldn't have that. It's this. I think like white people control themselves too much or whatever, something like that, right?
I think so, and I think that's why white people think that when we're upset, we're aggressive, and we're not aggressive. We are over exaggerated people.
Yeah. Well,
Not on purpose. It's just that's just us.
Well, it's just like I was telling you the other day. I was trying to get some legal advice at the lawyer's office, and I was a little too animated and loud a bit, having an argument with the guy in the waiting office. So I got asked to leave, and I wasn't like upset or like I didn't really need to be kicked out for being belligerent. I just ended up because I talk about politics and I get excited. I raise my voice, and then I have to be asked to leave. So my bad.
So you black. Okay, you ready for this? Here we go, sure. Michael. Okay, let me back it up. So, just so you understand, they were like, comb the desert. But they weren't talking, they were talking about like comb the desert as in they were looking for people.
Yeah.
But this is what they did in Spaceballs.
Puns are the best puns.
Sir?
What?
Are we being too literal?
No, you fool. We're following orders. We were told to comb the desert, so we're combing it.
Found anything yet? Nothing yet, sir. How about you? Not a thing, sir. What about you guys? We ain't found shit.
That movie's a classic. To all the Zoomer generation.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, to all the Gen Z, if you've never seen that movie, please check it out.
Spaceballs. I know they've seen Space. Look, Mastermind's seen Spaceballs. Sean's seen Spaceballs. It's a lot of people laughing in the chat. We ain't found shit. Anyway, how did we get there? How did we even get there? Because I don't know. Because I'm not taking anything seriously, like another black person. I ain't taking shit seriously. And speaking of not taking shit seriously,
it's because James Bond. That's why.
Oh, okay. Speaking of not taking shit seriously, can we go to my segment now, or are we? Oh,
yeah. No, I think I made the point. Let me just see. Yeah, basically, long story short, the
do we need
US
to go? Do we need to go? Wait, should I show it?
No, we can just. I'll just stop sharing my screen there. I'm just gonna to sum up. Like the things are going south for the Western Sahara there, unless things diplomatically change, like another reversal on top of this reversal, which seems unlikely. There's going to be some kind of escalation in violence there, and we don't want to see another conflict break out like in a big way. But it's exactly what we should be expecting to happen with all this decline of the U.S. hegemony. These kinds of resistance fighters are going to be finding their moment, and so we shouldn't necessarily hold it against them that the time is now for them. So it's important for us to support their struggle and to call out the spineless reactionary cowards who want to go make excuses for people like nations like Morocco as if they have the right to assert their colonial kind of dominance over people who don't deserve to be dominated by oppressors like that. So yeah.
I mean, nobody deserves to be dominated by oppressors.
Yeah.
I just want to say that you guys have been very funny in the chat, and I've been watching, and for some reason, I just haven't been able to like keep up. I don't know why. But Mastermind, Sean, Grapentine.
That was a good movie.
Bad Cookies. You guys have been hilarious in the chat, and I've been laughing the whole time. It was just too much going on. I couldn't put it up. So, yeah. But it's a good segue from what you were. Oh shit! Hold on. This goddamn amulet. I gotta take this off. Hold on. It's a good segue from what you were talking about, because you were kind of talking about the Sahara region, right? Which brings up like BRICS and segueing into my Pettyville, which is China, because China is really trolling us right now.
Right. Well, one of the things that the video mentioned at the beginning was that Algeria is making an effort to pivot to Russia and China. So of course we see Algeria supporting Western Sahara, making a pivot to the east. Then they get a crackdown by the U.S. So.
Like BRICS is getting stronger and stronger. There are more countries that are applying to become a part of it. So they are going to be like NATO. Pretty much. And I mean, I'm kind of here for it, because I mean, this is my humble opinion. America is so engulfed in its racism that they will bite their own nose off to spite their face.
1,000%.
And now the chickens are coming home to roost. And how like they were like complaining that we didn't come out on April 5th. And they're just like, where are the black people? Why aren't they protesting? Child, we ain't got time for that. We not doing none of that. And the black people are laughing their ass off about how China is trolling America right now. Like, oh, it is something else. I ain't gonna lie, I'm here for it.
This is where I'm usually the one trying to, be conscientious about Schadenfreude. You should all be wary of Schadenfreude. Don't be indulging in it too much here. But this is with
I'm indulging, honey. You see my devil horns? I wore these for a reason.
Yeah. Let's have a little Schadenfreude today. Because otherwise, I was reading the stuff about the bond market with the trade war, and I was getting kind of like stressed, right? Like just thinking about how scary this can be, you'll freak yourself out. So let's have a little bit of enjoyment in the pain that's finally deserved, that's so well deserved, is finally coming. Like the poetic justice of America, like being so stupid. When you talk about the tariffs being so high, you're trying to look so impressive, right? But when you learn about the tariffs, they overshot whatever, they overcompensated by a huge margin. So if they're too high, you actually don't make enough. You make less money because you made them so high. There's a sweet spot where you're not supposed to make them 145%. They probably should have made them like 20 or 40%. And then they would have made actual income from the tariffs. But it's not about that. It's just about making people decouple from China, which is like the last thing America can survive. Yeah.
And a lot of these Trump people are like, we don't need China. Are you kidding me? But anyway, let me play it for you. Let me play one thing for you, or for us, not just for you. But this is gonna be I'm here for Petty, okay? Oh, wait.
For hours on this.
Here we go.
I've been going down a rabbit hole for hours on this whole China pettiness towards the U.S., and I am living. Here's why. There is a man who came on here and said America decided that they were going to send their jobs to China, exploiting their middle class and basically reducing the middle class. While China said, bet, we're going to build our infrastructure. And China is over there looking like the future that we will never have, because America hates anything that isn't a straight white Christian male, Christian evangelical male. But this country has a special kind of hatred for black people, though. Oh, that hatred runs deep.
Ooh, child.
Centuries of deep hatred, to the point that the current president of the United States removed the former president of the United States' photo because his idea of a black man being in leadership bothers him so much. But I digress. Back to this China pettiness. Baby, the manufacturers are exposing these high-end retailers for the garbage that they are. You charging $38,000 for a bag that without a name is $20. And the Chinese people are saying, Americans, y'all ain't got to buy from them. Y'all could buy directly from us. Then on top of that, these bonds that China have with the U.S., they're thinking of selling, which could essentially crumble the U.S. economy. China is literally saying, we don't need America for shit. They don't. Because they took the jobs and progressed their country. Their children start thriving very young, whereas America chooses to starve children, to disenfranchise them through healthcare and education. We literally have a adult literacy problem where the average adult reads on a 6th grade reading level in the United States of America. We're not competing with China, bitch. And it's because this country literally thrives on hatred of people. If nothing else, if you don't take nothing else from this tariff war between China and the US, understand that Americans will put hatred over progress every time. If you don't know the history of America, I advise you to start studying, because every time Black people progress in this country, America starts to thrive. But the moment that we get too close to progression, white supremacists decide that they're going to say, you got too big for your britches, you can't do this. No, we will never be equal to you. The idea of Black people being equal to anybody in this country and excelling is why this country will never thrive. And until America understands this, China will play in their face and let them know, bitch, you ain't shit. I am literally in awe of the audacity of China to say America played in y'all face and made you think that you were the exception when it came to progress, when it came to wealth, when it came to the dream. There is no damn American dream. China is the fucking dream coming to reality and America's nightmare.
Yeah, people would say America's playing checkers while China's been playing chess, right? So they used America's racism against the Chinese too. Like, you guys think we're so inferior that we should be the factory of the world, right? Okay, fine. We'll take your means of production. Just
JD Vance literally called them peasants.
Yeah. Well, I didn't.
Like, what the fuck?
This is why I don't pay attention to every little thing that these people say, but like, so I'll miss something like that. But that's not surprising at all, right? Of course he said that.
Okay, I want to address this. Bad Cookie says, sorry, but this doesn't only affect Black folk. This also affects poor. Okay, yes, you are correct in that. But even poor folk think that they better than Black folk because of the color of their skin. A lot of them, not all of them.
Yeah, this
not
is
all of them.
But
it's a mindset.
Yeah. No, that story I was telling you about getting kicked out of the legal office for, like, I couldn't get legal advice because I got kicked out of the office, was because I was arguing with a poor white guy who wanted to sue a hospital, but he thinks that Canada's, like, a lot of people, they look at this crisis that we're going through now and they're like, fuck Trudeau or whatever. You ruined Canada. Canada used to be such a great place. Those are the people who are the racist motherfuckers who don't have a fucking clue what the hell place they've been living in this whole time, right? But you literally can't tell them otherwise, because they will argue with you and they will not have any facts to back themselves up, but they won't really take any correction from you. So that's why I got a little heated with them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the president. The quote from the president. I'm looking at Lyndon B. Johnson. This is for you, bad cookies. Everybody, all of us.
Cookies is right.
He says
saying that
no.
well,
He's right
people
in
have
saying that, but also
there is that nuance that we're saying.
yeah,
right?
there's more nuance and context to put. Yeah, it wasn't that he was wrong.
Like white people in Canada are blaming the Indian immigrants instead of the white rich people that are taking their homes away from them.
Yeah, they punching down instead of punching up.
Doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
So President Lyndon B. Johnson said, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. Yeah. That's what Lyndon B. Johnson said.
Yeah.
So
and he's saying
that's all I was talking about.
He's saying it not as a revolutionary, telling people not to be like that. He's saying it, well, I know full well that this is the way that people are, and I'm going to exploit them for exactly these reasons.
Yeah. So that that kind of feels like not all white people. You know that comment not all white people, and it's like, well, if it's not you, then shut the fuck up. It's not you. It's like why you got to defend you when I'm not talking about you?
Yeah. It reminds me of another quote by
and I think Bad Cookies is Latino anyway, so
it reminds me of a quote by Jay Gould, one of these rich people from history, whatever. He said something like, I could just hire one half of the working class to kill the other. And that's what they do, right? But what half do they hire? Right? They pick and choose. They already know which half they're going to hire. So,
well, that's like Harriet Tubman was like, I freed thousands of Negroes. I could have freed 1,000 more if they didn't know that they were slaves. And she would say, you know, some of these Negroes, I kill them first. I kill them before I kill the white man, because they were so enslaved in their mind that they was gonna mess it up for the rest of us.
Yeah.
So all that
Africa and France, there's a similar dynamic there where there's plenty of Africans who probably hate their, like Algerians, you could say as an example in this case, who probably hate their fellow Algerians more than the French, because they're the particular kind of Algerian who's willing to sell out Algeria to France so that they can personally gain some wealth from the colonizers. They're going to sell out their own people. And so those people being sold out have a right to hate them more than the French.
Mm-hmm. And thank you, Bad Cookies, because I probably was jumping the gun. So he is Hispanic. He says, and that's what he was saying. It doesn't just affect Black people because he's Hispanic. That's why he was saying that. Because in my mind, I guess I was thinking white, and that shows you what's wrong with America too, because it's like black, white.
Well,
in my head.
Hispanics kind of show what's wrong with white supremacy in that, like how whiteness expands and contracts. So Hispanics are white enough for the whites when it's convenient, and they're too brown to be white when it's not.
And if they Afro-Latina, then they fucked. Tell me I'm wrong, Bad Cookies.
Unless they're Nico House and they're moving to Brazil and they're taking care of business, whatever.
I do have a Nico House video if you want to watch it. I mean, it's kind of off what we were talking about, but I thought it was interesting. We could, you know what? We can end on the Nico House video.
Sure.
How about that? We could do
they've been
that.
killing it over on Hotspot lately, so props to them.
Yeah, it was a Hotspot video. It was really good. Yeah. So we could end on that, which is it's totally not what we're talking about, but we could still end on it because I really like the video. I don't know why.
We haven't actually talked much about China. We meant to talk a bit more about China, so we should probably do that a bit.
Well, it's just about how they have been on TikTok exposing how much they actually like how much goods are actually worth. Like luxury goods that say made in Italy, that shit is made in China. And then legally they do it all in China, most of it, ship it to whatever country, then that country repackages it and puts their label on it, and legally they're allowed to say made in Italy, made in yada yada. And you are paying so much money for some shit that ain't worth half of what they, maybe more than half of what they're charging you. And
Well,
we kind of already knew that, but
yeah,
we didn't
but
know it to that extent.
yeah. Well, like Marxist theory is about like the labor theory of value is where value ultimately comes from, is the labor that people put into it. But the capitalists have this other like subjective theory of value, that's kind of what they use to justify why the price deserves to be that high and why people pay it. Their explanation for why people pay it is that they subjectively believe that the product truly is that valuable because what they make it, what we make value based on our mentality is the capitalist theory, right? The problem is that the economic reality reveals that like it's the materialistic side of things that makes value, right? It's when you try and make value like purely subjective, that's where you get these runaway like anti-reality prices on products and stuff that people have to be deluded in order to pay, and it doesn't. Yeah, so I think made my point there. So
Yeah, and so what they've been doing, if you guys are on TikTok, they've been showing you how much shit actually costs, and saying, hey, you don't have to buy from Amazon with that markup price. You could just buy it straight from China. And China is also, they had like a law where you couldn't take our intellectual property and make products, like you had to make it for that manufacturer. And China was like, fuck that. We gonna make the same shit and sell it under our name. We don't care no more. I was like, what? They are just going ham, and I'm here for it.
yeah, well, intellectual property is one of those things that I've never thought made any sense, right? I think that we should like communists should be against kind of like this intellectual property, like the what's it the patents, the patent system. That is not something that drives innovation. It's something that holds innovation back. So people can argue about that someday, but I'm pretty sure that
Well,
China proves that that system is broken. So
well, I have a few books about um, black people who invented things, but they couldn't have the patent because they were slaves. So their slave owner owned the patent. Hi, kill your egregores. Um, and then I saw this really funny. Uh, it's not funny. It's kind of sad. They're like, oh, the black man invented the stoplight. The white man invented the ticket. Like the black man invented the light bulb. Well, in conjunction with Thomas Edison, but it would have never worked without Lewis Latimer. So the black man invented the light bulb. The white man invented the electric bill. So it's like everything a black man invented, a white man invented a way to make you pay for
Yeah, basically.
it.
I never heard that.
I thought it was so funny because he went on and on about different inventions a black man made, and then how a white man capitalized on it and made it out of a bill for all of us.
Yeah, it's funny because it's true kind of thing, except it's
It's
not
funny
funny
because it's true.
'cause it's true too. So
And Bad Cookies, I did see what you said. I am gonna look up True Romance and watch it. I am gonna watch it. So thank
yeah,
you.
sure, not
Is
long
that
enough.
that movie where they say say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, the Italians? Is that movie?
I don't know if I've seen it, but maybe
Mastermind. He said a black man invented peanut butter and a white doctor invented peanut allergies. Y'all are so silly. So I think that's all we had. Let me see. I mean, I just wanted to talk about the pettiness of China. I had more videos, but we kind of pretty much summed it up.
well, I
That
saw Yonina saying she'd like to be a guest someday. That would be cool.
that'd be wonderful. You
Let
could
us know. Actually, now that you said that, and I remember Jacqueline said a while ago she'd be happy to get be invited into the Discord. Maybe I should put an invite to the Discord in the chat as we speak.
do that, yeah. So let's wait while you do that, and I'll just talk shit. Let me see. Bad Cookie says, "Oh dear, be ready for an interesting story." We do. Well, let me just show it so everybody can see. Yeah, True Romance Sicilian Story. Yeah, that's what I saw. Uh-oh. I've been watching some crazy shit lately. So it is in the disc. There it is. So please just go join now. Go join now. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We forget to say that too. Craping time.
Sorry, I was seeing poking Tim Pool jokes at me there. That's one person I really would want to be associated with in any way, but I did it to myself. Yeah, that guy's a clown.
Speaking of Teslas, hey, what's her name? Not Taylor Swift. The other one. What's the other white girl? I'm sorry. That don't sound right. White girl. Katy Perry.
Yeah, see,
they went out and
I went to her.
And Gail.
Yeah.
See, I named the black one. And Gail, it's like they are. What the fuck are you talking about? But Katy Perry was the most egregious because she came home talking about, oh, I feel what love means or something. I was like, what? Girl, you could have, whatever money you spent on that, which you probably didn't because I think Jeff Bezos paid for that. But you could have fed a whole city and felt what love means. What are you talking about? Yes, Rondo, a goddamn buffoon. And so is Gail, all of them. Every last one of them. It's just ridiculous.
Well, it's just like people going on vacations these days. I kind of resent a little bit. Just like when everything falling apart all around us. I would love to go on a vacation too, right? But it's like this personal, instant gratification at the expense of what you could do to rally with anybody at all. So, like, yeah, you have the right, I guess. Like, but in normal times, you definitely have the right. But like in crisis times, it's not. It's like a privilege. It's not a right.
It feels like you're gaslighting us.
Yeah. Well, adding insult to injury. It's like, look what I can do while you are down there starving in the gutter, right? Thinking about killing yourself, whatever. I'm gonna go
During a recession,
world, literally, right?
even if it wasn't a recession, it's still pretty fucked up that if somebody can end homelessness and they decide, know what else I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go to outer space. What?
So that's the worst part. They could probably do both, right? They could literally do both.
You probably could do both.
Yeah, but they want to do one and not the other. If you had to choose between one or the other, what would you choose? I would choose everybody and being loved by everyone for doing that. That's why these people are narcissists, but they're not that kind of narcissist, I guess. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah, well, next week is school's out. I'm not going on a vacation. I'm gonna work on my garden. And I'm gonna have like picnics in my yard. That's what I'm gonna do. With my gun. Just in case.
Nice.
So anyway, this is about your friend. I'm playing when I say your friend. Eon Carroll. You was talking shit about him.
Yeah. No.
So Nico House did a hot spot about him. So I thought you would get great satisfaction in watching this. So I thought we can go out on this if you were okay with it.
Yeah, sounds good. You know, I'd like to, being a new person joining the media, the independent media here. I like to ferret out these people that are pretending to be independent, and we need to, like, because otherwise we're looking for these people as sources for information. So we would be happy to share them, but if we've recognized them as no good, we have a kind of a duty to dump on them because they're assholes. So here we go, right?
Oh, look, we're probably a little late. She might have already been gone, but good night, Jacqueline. Because you know she's in a very different time zone, and she tries to stay with us as long as she can, and we really appreciate it. So thank you for that. Don't forget about this Discord. I don't know how you got that set up, Michael, because I tried now and I was just like flabbergasted. So thank you so much for putting that together.
I just spend a lot of time on
it. Looks so professional. I know. I don't spend time on it. It's like my niece or something telling me to go on Snapchat. I'm like, what?
Well,
I can't even TikTok. I can't Stitch. I don't know any of that stuff. It's not like I can't learn. It's just I just don't know it.
Yeah, like I tried jumping on the Twitter and getting back on Facebook because I got off of that a long time ago, and like Instagram, these kind of stuff, they don't really appeal to me. I don't really like the platforms, but Discord, I find it's for whatever reason I prefer it. It works for me, right? It's a better platform, I would say.
Okay. So it's all about your personal preference and all that stuff. So here we go. If we need a Discord, you have to talk to Michael because I
think we need a few more people. There's nothing to mod right now. We only got about 10 or 12 people in there. So and there's not much discourse going on. So if you guys want to join the Discord, also please feel free to share whatever you like in there and communicate. Don't be shy, right?
Yeah, and I have to admit, Michael is like, you need to get on the Discord. But I've never used Discord before. That's like telling me to get on Reddit. I've never used it before.
Yeah, that's funny. I should have used Reddit.
So it's just something I have to. I'm on Facebook a lot, and my nephew, and this was years ago. So this tells you my age. My nephew was like, "Oh, Facebook for old people," and I was like, "What?" That had to be at least 7 years ago. He said that. Oh, what y'all doing now?
It's kind of true, but I also see a lot of young people still on Facebook, but those people are more politically disconnected, it seems to me. But I'm not really on Facebook to judge too much, right? So,
But
as far as Discord goes,
Yeah,
it's more free. It's not so censored as Twitter, and like so that's why it's better, I think.
you should message Michael. Message Michael. Don't message me because I'm not on there enough, and we can work something out for sure. Um, Rondo says Facebook is for old people. I'm 48. I just had a birthday last week.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Should have told
I'm
us.
40.
Celebrate.
I guess I should. Well,
That's all right. I did the same thing, I think, for my birthday. I didn't know what to tell
I
anybody.
didn't tell anybody. It's just 48. It's no big deal. Now on 50, maybe I'll be like, oh, my birthday. But whatever. But anyway, so let's see what else is going on. Facebook and LinkedIn are both. Yes, I feel like. Okay, Rondo. You know what? I got both of those. I don't really have an Instagram. I don't have. In fact, that's all I have is Facebook and.
See, I thought LinkedIn is more for just like for jobs for people who are like professionals, you know. But maybe it's for old people.
Oh, is this true? Discord. Bad Cookie says Discord is just like a giant YouTube chat with less censorship. That isn't to say there isn't censorship out there, but it's way more relaxed. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, if you check out in Indie News Network, there they have set up their Discord to be able to stream automatically to YouTube while they're streaming. So you can comment on Discord, and it will like the problem is it'll still get censored on the YouTube live, right? But what gets censored off of YouTube, the people in the Discord could still see it. Like it won't get censored from the people that are in the chat with you, like it would if you were just on YouTube.
Oh, I have to check and see if we could do that. I'm not sure if we can. Thank you, Bad Cookies. Oh, I look like I'm in the 30 range.
Yeah, she's good looking.
Well,
Yeah,
well, my titties look like they're in the 30 range too. So, whoop whoop. Thank you, Kill Your Egregores. I appreciate you. And everybody else that's telling me happy birthday, Sean, Rondo, everybody. Lord. I shouldn't have said shit. But thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. So should we go to the
the video.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say this. My niece turned like 15 or something, and I went to her birthday dinner, and I had like on a halter top that was connected to some pants, and I took a picture with her. She looks like my mini me. She looks like exactly like me, but a young me, and I look exactly like my mother. So we look like triplets throughout generations. And the way the picture looks, I could just show it real quick. Oh, maybe I shouldn't because she's 15. I shouldn't show her face. But anyway, the way the picture looks, my friends was like, look at you acting like it's your birthday. Because I was all out like, I don't know why I just said that. Because if I would have shown the picture, it would make more sense. But I can't show the picture because she's young. So I shouldn't do that. So my bad. We should just cut all that out.
Yeah, but we tend to not really even edit much after. Okay, post it. We're good.
I know. Next time, we're good. Thank you, Gripping Time. Appreciate it. Oh, is Savvy gonna debate Chink?
She had a debate. I don't.
Oh, she did. I'd like to.
I don't understand why.
Do I want to see that? I don't even know.
But she's been climbing up the whatever YouTube ranks, getting to be quite a lot of subscribers. So she's kind of getting to be not so much like as grassroots as the rest of us. Not that that's sometimes we need voices out there that are getting seen more than just a couple hundred or whatever. I just hope that she can maintain her revolutionary spirit, right?
I haven't been watching her actually. I mean, no shade, nothing. I just haven't been watching her. It's not that I don't like watching her. I just haven't been watching her lately.
I watch it sometimes. She's got long shows and stuff, so it depends
Like
on
like us,
that.
like us. At least she clips hers. We don't even clip ours. We're just like, whatever, go with it.
One thing she was talking about that we should maybe is worth us, because we remember you we're gonna have Eric the Red on for the 11 demands. So they were talking about the 11 demands the other day, and that just reminded me like that, we should probably like revisit what those demands are and maybe have some dialectic a little bit about what works about the 11 demands, what doesn't work, because what they're saying is
He don't want to talk to us.
yeah, no, whether they want to talk to us or not.
Shout out to Mastermind Hour for that. Look, he's in the chat.
Yeah, well, one day if they ever want to talk to us, I'm still open to it. But the longer that things go with us not talking and burying the hatchet, the less likely it ever is going to happen.
I know. I was just like, dude, chill. Snarky's here. Oh, he's been in the shadows, chilling.
How's it going? Good to see you guys. I don't use LinkedIn. I view it as a bad place to show you
LinkedIn is what he meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, where to put your information. These are days anymore. Like you got to put yourself out there to get a job, but then all your information is everywhere.
He said, I view it as a bad place to show your job history. Is that, I mean, only if you are on like social media saying like weird shit, right? Like if you're not, if you, I'm not sure. Maybe, it's a privacy because my social media is private, but my LinkedIn isn't. So maybe that's what he's talking about. And maybe he's fucking right.
There is something
To be honest.
The employers, the way that they're going about hiring game these days, it is absurd. They shouldn't be allowed to do the kind of stalking, I would say, online stalking that they do to vet their candidates, right? It's discriminatory. Like people like me are never going to get a job, right? Because I can't keep my mouth shut or whatever online. Like I don't feel like the whole reason why they do that is to make people change who they are, right? So you're not going to be your authentic self online because they won't let you, because they're going to cancel you if you allow yourself to be who you are.
Yeah, I'm wondering, can you make your LinkedIn private like you did? Like my Facebook is private, so only my friends see, and I don't even post stuff on my Facebook. I really don't. I just use it to browse. Because I learned a while ago that like, I don't know. I just stop posting stuff because I don't want the scrutiny. I don't want the whatever, which is funny to say because I'm on a podcast. But I don't want the scrutiny in my personal life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you judging my personal life, what I got going on, type of stuff. And maybe, can you make your LinkedIn private?
Probably.
Mastermind says a private LinkedIn is pointless.
Yeah.
And Rondo says LinkedIn is social media for capitalists. This is very interesting.
Yeah, well, because they're leveraging the people who buy into it, use it, and right, they're often using it because they
recruiters use it a lot.
Yeah, they make money, they get jobs and stuff by putting their information out there. But people who think like that don't ever present their authentic stuff to begin with. They only ever play the game, so they're good at it because of that. But I don't want to be that kind of person, all right? So I suffer my choices.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I have You know what? Never mind. Oh, we'll talk about it later.
Mhm. Okay.
It's all good. I don't know if I should. Oh, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna say it. I have a site that I'm just gonna show it. Black Life. I'm doing it.
What?
I'm showing my site.
What site? Cubase?
Mm-hmm. I'm
Good
just
job.
gonna do it.
Good.
Oh, you said good job? Okay. Hold on.
Now you've got our curiosity piqued.
I'm putting it in the chat. I'm doing it. I haven't launched it yet, but here it is. I think it's a good time to launch it though. So it's basically, if y'all don't know, I'm a queer person. I'm a bisexual monogamous person. And the site is, oh, let me share it. I can share it up here. I haven't launched it, but it seems like more than ever I should launch it. I only have like in certain cities, whatever. I don't know, who cares? But anyway, it's you know how like this is the time where we're boycotting like Walmart, Amazon, Target. Well, maybe not everybody, but Black people are boycotting these places because they're not doing DEI anymore. So this is a site that shows businesses that are owned by LGBTQ people, but it also features like Black-owned, disability-owned, employee-owned, minority-owned, trans-owned businesses, veteran-owned, women-owned, whatever. So
Well, that's a good
that's what I got, and this is where we are right now. Yeah. Can I make that bigger? Let me see.
But the more you get it out
There
there,
it
the more
is.
people start to use it, the more this is the
Yeah, yeah. We don't have, we're not all over the place, but whatever. But anyway, yeah. All little people, isn't that disability owned? That would be disability owned people. Bad cookies were the little people.
So the one thing I was as a mild, I don't know, critique or something, but I see when you're looking for this business owned by this particular minority group, it still to me comes across as like a means of looking for the bourgeois of this particular group, but if we could make cooperatives in that kind of a thing, then we would have a little bit more of like a socialist kind of thing. But
Yes. So there are like websites for like Buy Black, which I would encourage people to shop at those places. I think one is called like blackwallstreet.com. One is buyblack.com. I think there might be a women's one or whatever. This is specifically for queer people. And if you want to break it down even more, you can do queer Black people or queer disabled people or queer trans or queer friendly people. Like let me put it back up. So I'm gonna go back for a second. Oh shoot, what'd I do? Oh, you go qbiz.lgbt. There you go. And let me see. If I just found one or something. What am I trying to say? I don't know. I'm nervous because I wasn't really trying to show. I'm nervous. Okay.
that's okay.
No. Bear, it look. Thank you for making me laugh. Where are the queer albino people? I need to make one for them too.
It's like if you build it, they
Thank
will.
you, Bad Cookies. If you build it, they will come. I just haven't launched it yet, but
If
it's
you had
in
to,
the making.
I was just gonna say, if you had to make a choice between the ultra wealthy billionaire Bezos, white straight male guy, or basically any of those minority groups you just mentioned, are gonna be the little guy, right? Whether they're a capitalist or not. So it makes a lot more sense to support those communities that will support you back, right?
Yeah, and it's not saying you can't support like cis white man or anything. It's just this is just another place. If that's somewhere you want to spend your dollars, that's all. That's all it is. Because there's you know, gay white men on here too. But I'm just highlighting, the most marginalized amongst us. But you can support gay white men too.
Well, it's good though to get people to do their support economically, right? Because we can talk about having solidarity with people, but where solidarity kind of goes a long way is where we can get some dual power going. We can have some of an alternative economy that supports us better, as opposed to being trapped in our dollars going up and never coming back.
So I'm gonna Black Life just brought me this. I guess she saw me put that up and thought it was exciting. So cheers.
Cheers. I'll go
to
crack up the door.
To QBiz. To QBiz.lgbt.
Yeah, congratulations.
Okay, so should I cue up this this video of Ian Carroll, which I've been talking about?
Yes, we've been taking our time to be signing off, but that's okay. Thank you for being here, everyone. I always appreciate you guys.
Always appreciate you guys. And yeah, Rhonda, we support people without qualifiers. That's true. Well, but also because of the system that we are within, supporting everybody without qualifiers means there's a hierarchy of who's getting paid. So we have to be mindful of that too, right?
Yeah.
What prison are you in, Snarky?
Isn't he a school teacher there? So he's probably waiting for the summer with lots of impatience.
Everybody's like, "Why are you in prison? What the fuck is going on?" And Snark, you didn't email me. You said you would.
Well, Snork's, I'm thinking he's getting maybe closer to that retirement age. My parents just retired last year or two, both of them. So that'll be your real freedom from prison. So.
Wage prison.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he has. I mean, I would think because of his age and stuff, he has a pension, which is great.
Hopefully your pension's doing all right though right now. I wouldn't.
Oh,
really
you did?
Confident about having one of those.
No, a pension is different from a 401k.
Yeah, but some of these pensions are still in.
I'd very much rather a pension.
Yeah, some
pensions.
pensions
Still within that.
I don't know, depending on.
I'm gonna have to look, Snarky, because I didn't get it. I'm sorry, Michael.
No worries. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, my mom has a pension. Like, they can't. Well, you never know what they'll do. To be honest.
Yeah.
All right. So, we are going to say what do we want to say? You have a few announcements. JB.
Oh yeah.
Got a kidney.
Yeah, JB finally got a new kidney there. He's apparently he had, for whatever reason, like didn't want to sign up for the transplant service, I guess. I don't know what you call it. So he maybe could have
The
been
transplant list.
the list. He didn't want to get on the list for whatever reason, but so he made that decision, I guess, in the past few months or year, and so he's had this anticipation building of this potentially risky surgery, right? There's always a concern that some complication may arise. Always a risk, right? But so he was brave enough to take that risk, and he's earned the reward of not having to go to dialysis anymore. And so I'm very happy to hear.
Happy for him.
Yeah, that's some good news for somebody, and a little win for the good guys for once, right?
Yay!
Wants to. He's probably still needing some donations to support whatever aftercare. So if anyone has any desire to support him, please do so.
Applause for JB. Yay. Anybody else? We should say, well, I think that's it.
Yeah, I didn't really have.
Bad Cookies was talking about 401ks. It's a scam. Yes. It's the greatest hustle. Yes, that is true. Like pensions were good. 401k is a hustle. It's a scam and a scheme. But yeah. Anyway, getting back to JB, we wish him the best.
Yeah. Well, now I'm trying to think of some other announcement I might have had, but I didn't really think of any of these this week. I've been a little bit.
No, we should announce to hey, go to our Discord.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe I could try and get used to the regularly sharing my Ko-fi account thing that I made. If anyone wants to donate for me, feel free, I guess. Right.
Yes. And I need to get my ass on Discord, so there's that too. But anyway, in the meantime and in between time, I'm about to set up this hotspot because I think it's kind of, well, not hilarious, but it's, I don't know.
Cheeky.
I liked Ian. Is it Ian Carroll or Ian?
Ian.
Yeah.
Like,
I liked him, but I was also, and there's that dude, Dean Wither, Wither. I know y'all know him.
Oh, I forgot to check him out last week.
He's a very young guy. I mean, very young, like 23 or something. Very knowledgeable on how to take down Republicans, but somehow has no critique about Democrats. Ding, 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 ding. Very groomed.
These people like Ian Carroll, they're frustrating for us because we're sitting here trying to do things authentically, grow properly, and then we see these people come in and they're made popular all of a sudden really fast within a year or whatever it is, and it makes us maybe jealous in a sense sometimes, except for then we realize, oh, wait a minute, why would I be jealous of this guy? He's a goddamn shill.
Yeah, it's not really jealousy. It's like suspicion.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell did you come from? And I'd like to listen to him because of the way, like, he does all these debates. How did you get on college campuses? Like, you know how they do those round table debates where people, they'll ask a question and people have to run up and whoever sits in the seat first can debate you.
Right.
How the hell did you get that spot? And you look like you're 24.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I would appreciate being able to go to stuff like some kind of events like that, but I can't afford to travel and stuff. So that's where I'm not maybe not jealousy, but a little bit of envy.
That's a whole other thing. How are you traveling from college to college doing this if somebody is not supporting this behavior from you?
Yeah.
Who are you? Where did you come from?
Yeah. So it's not
anyway,
person specifically. It's more about what they're able to do or getting away with or yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
yeah, exactly. So anyway, on that note, we will talk to you Thursday. Rondo says he's an op. I mean, even if the college, Sean, even if the college pays them, show that. Oh wait, sorry. Even if the college pays them, where did your wealth come? Like, who said you deserve to get paid? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah.
So anyway,
you got to know somebody to know somebody, right? Like.
Oh yeah, I remember this. It's .com. Cancel this clothing company.com. Yeah, or whatever. Okay. All right. So we will play this and be out. Mwah.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Love you guys. See you next week.
Time.
Hope everyone has a good week.
Yes, please do.
Trump's recent announcement to finish the ethnic cleansing of the Gaza Strip might have exposed something a little bit more sinister going on behind the scenes, like this weirdo Ian Carroll. Now, we all know Trump got those loyalists who, even if they're on the right side of an issue at a certain point, will flip the moment Trump takes the opposite side, like what Andrew Tate did here, and then block my boy Nick for calling him out for doing so. Basically, Nick calls him out for being a Trump meat writer because Tate said that he's going to give Trump the benefit of the doubt without any logic, without any context or reason as to why we should give him the benefit of the doubt. And it's even more egregious because Andrew Tate has actually been firmly in the pro-Palestine camp and has called out Israel religiously. Now, Tate is the only Trump supporter that came out of nowhere and all of a sudden flipped his stance on Palestine the moment that Trump came out and said that the U.S. has plans to take over the Gaza Strip. It's like my friend Misty says here, it's like a narrative went out to all the major shill accounts and they're following their order. But I gotta be fair, it's not all MAGA people, because this guy, Ian Smith, was extremely critical of Trump's decision, saying that he's not fucking dying for Israel. Comedian and political pundit Dave Smith comes out and says that he cannot overstate how awful this guy's idea is. And yeah, he voted for Trump too. Bro, even Candace Owens, shortly after Trump made this announcement, retweeted something calling out the Israeli lobby's control over the U.S. government and not tweeting out a single word of support after the announcement was made. So not everybody got the script, but I'll tell you who did. This motherfucker right here, Ian Carroll, a person who many would probably say could contribute his success to his pro-Palestine advocacy over the last year or so. And now I'm going to explain to y'all what I meant at the beginning of the video when I said it seems to be a little bit more nefarious than what people think. Like this is something that might have been planned long before any of us were even thinking about Trump coming in and announcing that we're going to take over Gaza. So after consistently calling out the genocide for a little over a year, Trump announces his plan, and Ian all of a sudden is like, you know what? I think ethnic cleansing is actually okay. He puts out a tweet and even a follow-up video saying that, yeah, man, we should definitely send troops to Gaza because that would stabilize the region. And also, this could have huge economic benefits for the United States. And also, I don't see another solution. How else are we going to stop the violence? Maybe Trump's plan isn't that bad. And I'm going to show you how easily that argument is deconstructed. But first, let's deconstruct Ian. Who the fuck is this man? Ian Carroll, who showed up to Twitter in May of 2023 out of nowhere with zero credentials and somehow amassed 1.1 million followers and is religiously promoted by the algorithm, despite previously being on the pro-Palestine side of the argument. And we know being pro-Palestine generally gets you banned, suspended, or both, not boosted. Who is this Ian Carroll that has 1.7 million TikTok followers in a little bit over a year and has a bunch of impersonators also with damn near tens to hundreds of thousands of followers like this man is some well-known academic or researcher that everyone has been aware of for decades. Ian Carroll, who showed up out of nowhere in May of 2023, that ended up going on major podcasts immediately like Danny Jones. The dude gets invited to go on to Fox 11 Los Angeles to talk about the P. Diddy scandal. Dude is so present in the algorithm that he's literally getting reposted by Joe Rogan. The Ian Carroll that started his YouTube channel around the same time he got on Twitter has only 830,000 views and only 33 videos, but somehow amassed almost 100,000 subscribers in that short amount of time with almost no viral videos. In case you were curious, that's not how YouTube math works. Not to mention the dude is transparently opportunistic, like when dude had the opposite RFK Jr. experience, saying that RFK was dead to him after RFK's ridiculous comments supporting genocide in Gaza. And he actually even calls RFK a shill and says that's why people aren't voting for him. Only to turn around in March of 2024 to be like, yeah, actually, Kennedy is democracy. And I say the reverse RFK experience because he's the only pro-Palestine supporter that started supporting RFK after he announced his love for genocide. Like, we don't know who Ian Carroll is politically, and we don't know who he is at all before May of 2023. Go ahead, try it. Tell me anything at all about Ian Carroll. Don't worry, I'll wait. In 2025, one of the most popular political pundits on the internet has zero digital footprint from before he was famous, and that's not suspicious to y'all. He's an op. I mean, bro, if you look at the mustache and the hairdo, the dude looks like CIA Barbie. And not to mention the arguments that he makes now directly contradict the arguments that he made before. And sure, it's very possible that he's just a cloud chaser, an engagement farmer. He's going to say whatever he can to get as many followers as he can. But like Missy said, the script went out and he seems to be following it to a T. David Icke encapsulates it beautifully here. He says that this bloke has never seen a Trump policy he didn't want to support. And so often on the basis of better of two evils, I don't like it, or it's the only way. Who is this guy, and why do the algorithms love him? Y'all know the last time someone came out of nowhere and became extremely popular in a short amount of time, despite constantly contradicting his own opinion? This guy, Vaush, the pedo FBI agent. The same Vaush who, like Ukraine, got caught begging for money after the USAID got shut down, because we know what the USAID is used for. Government propaganda. So no, I can't say for sure who Ian Carroll is or what his intentions or motives are. And I think that's probably the problem. I just know the guy arrived right before the elections and right before the genocide started, got popular because of the genocide, and all of a sudden has fallen in love with Trump and has started supporting ethnic cleansing that many people already believe has been in the plans for an extended period of time. And I'm just saying, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, he's a motherfucking op.
So I see myself more as a bridge than an actual journalist. I'm not really an investigative journalist. I'm a journalism communicator. Not really an investigative journalist. I'm a journalism communicator.